shit tonight. That'd be easy work too. Badu Jack, I want everybody. Anthony Joshua, Gervonta, and Tommy.
Was the next one Tank?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, like he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
In a seismic announcement that sent shockwaves through the boxing world, it's been confirmed that Jake Paul will step into the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis in a highly anticipated matchup slated for late 2025.
You called out Canelo in the ring. Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
The speculation began when boxing promoter Eddie Hearn dropped a significant hint, telling attendees at a press conference earlier this year that we know that Gervonta Davis is going to fight Jake Paul in November.
This might be the worst thing that ever happened in the history of humanity. Jake Paul is set to fight Gervonta Tank Davis in November? This is ridiculous. First of all, Tank, I know you're known for not taking the hardest fights, but you at least fight actual boxers. What are you doing? Besides getting that bag. Second, Jake, why are you doing this? You're a bad person. Let's ignore the fact that I have personally watched this man rob a P.F. Chang's. Let's talk about his refusal to fight real boxers. He gets criticized for refusing to fight real boxers, so he fights Mike Tyson, a 60-year-old boxer. He gets criticized for fighting a 60-year-old boxer, so he fights a current championship boxer who is literally 100 pounds lighter than him. Tank Davis is a lightweight, 135 pounds. Jake Paul is a cruiserweight, 235 pounds. You're never beating this fraud allegation, Jake, so why are you doing this? What do you guys think of this fight? And don't tell me anything good. Say it in the comments, though.
Provided Paul secures a victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. this past June 28th, that confirmation came quickly after Paul dominated Chavez Jr. in Anaheim by unanimous decision, 99-91, 98-92, 97-93.
When is Gervonta Davis going to go somewhere in the pound for pound? Anui deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. Do Terrence Crawford deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. But what about Gervonta Tank Davis? He deserve to be somewhere also in the pound for pound.
Why don't they give him that credit?
Because he was affiliated with me.
And then issued the high-profile challenge to light heavyweight names including Badu Jack, Anthony Joshua, Tommy Fury, and Davis himself. What makes the Paul Davis bout so explosive is not just the feverish social media heat, but the logistical twist.
When we wanted the Loma fight, when it was in its prime, him and Mayweather, their team just, they just danced around it. When we wanted the Devin fight for Undisputed, the belts don't matter. I could just give them to my kids because everybody's winning belts. Shakur, he's easy work, he's boring, but you don't want to unify against him. Keyshawn might have a chance. You feel me? It's just disgusting. We wanted the Bud fight too after he called him out, and we also would have took a Teofimo Lopez fight. But then his fans would say, oh, but they're too big. They're not in his weight class. What the fuck is Jake Paul? This is the bullshit I be talking about. Like, this shit does nothing for the sport of boxing, but in terms of the division of 135, it doesn't do jack shit.
Due to a massive weight discrepancy, Paul typically fights at cruiserweight, 195 to 200 pounds, and Davis at lightweight, 135 pounds. The fight will not be professionally sanctioned. Instead, it's set as an exhibition, a 10-round showcase with 3-minute rounds, no formal restrictions, and a weight cap around 195 pounds.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
With both men boasting colossal fan bases and heavyweight scale commercial clout, the stakes could hardly be higher in the crossover spectacle. Think sorting influencers and ring legends into one event.
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaning with right. He took a knee. He took a knee. What is he doing? He forgot his... It's got to be a knockdown. What in the world is happening? Took a knee. He's got to count.
I understand. You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up. Back up.
Davis, after a contentious draw with Lamont Roach in March, must first resolve that rematch before diving into this heavyweight spectator event.
Tank was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach, but I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would be like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back, and bruh, I'm telling you, bruh. I'm telling you. But that's a cat, fine. We'll never get to fight anyway, so we'll never know.
Meanwhile, Paul looks to build on his momentum following a bruising yet definitive win over Chavez Jr., positioning it as another step towards serious competition.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah. I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching, like, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that, like, we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like, if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
Even as critics dismiss him as a circus act and question the legitimacy of his claim to cruiserweight rankings, Paul's competitors list is long. Heavyweight phenom Anthony Joshua.
Shit tonight. That'd be easy work too. Badu Jack, I want everybody. Anthony Joshua, Gervonta, and Tommy.
Cruiserweight kings like Gilberto Zurdo, Ramirez, and Badu Jack, fellow internet rival Tommy Fury, and now Gervonta Davis, his most career-defining call-out yet.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That was burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
And the financial rewards will be off the charts, with pay-per-view appeal through the roof. Paul's partner Nakisa Badarian emphasized that both Davis and Paul are standalone drawing powerhouses, hinting that the matchup could be one of the biggest domestic boxing spectacles of the year.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proved time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
On the rules front, Paul has stressed that the exhibition format will be clean and entertaining. No gimmicks, just 10 hard-fought rounds at 3 minutes apiece. Both fighters will share a roughly equal weight limit, and while the match won't count on professional records, it will count on entertainment value, fan engagement, and global viewership.
When he fought Lamont, it was like he was there, but he wasn't like there for real. Like when you watch all the other fights, you can see like his eyes just look different. When he walked into the ring with Lamont, it was just like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you heard in the press conferences, he was just saying he was just real irritated. He didn't really seem like himself.
He just felt like I think he just trained just to get by. I think he trained to just do 12 rounds. You know what I mean? The Tink that I know, the kid that you punch him in the face, he go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I'm down on the scorecards, I'm gonna go out and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it that fight, and I understand it too. When us as fighters, when you get to a certain point in life, sometimes you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Paul previously aired disdain for Davis's skills, saying he never really thought Tank was that good, and labeled him full of holes waiting to be exposed. Davis, for his part, dismissed Paul as a clown, but with the competitive edge of a fighter who knows public perception can be challenged in the ring. Boxing purists, meanwhile, are torn. Some are intrigued by the novelty and star power, while others decry the lack of professional sanctioning and vast weight difference. Reddit forums exploded with views ranging from amusement. If that's the case, then Tank was 140 versus Barrios, and Jake Paul was 185 versus Tommy Fury, to cynicism. This fight ain't happening. It's just keeping their names in the media.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, like he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
But as always in this era, visibility is currency, and both Paul and Davis hold it in spades. The plan now, Paul must pass the Chavez Jr. test, which he did. Davis must settle the Roach rematch, expected July, August, and then the stage is set for the blockbuster exhibition in November. Fans are already predicting fireworks.
I would love to see Tank fight Jake Paul. I would love to see Tank show how unskilled he is and too small for the unexperienced Jake Paul, who would be too big for him, pause, and use his size and beat the fuck out of Tank. He always tweet about, type about, got something to say, like he really running shit, but he stays little ass at that lightweight class, but being a bigger, smaller dude that can only beat the smaller dudes. And unfortunately, I would love to see the Tank fans looks on their face as they pull a mask off and all the rabies and all the disinfection disease, they've been clogged up their brains and their ears and shit over the years watching Jake Paul beat the fuck out of the small version of the wannabe hype job that's not skilled enough to use his size and speed. I want the fight. They both fight in the same lane. They content creators. They circus acts and stuff, so Tank would be right up his alley fighting a Jake Paul. I'm for it. So let's push for the fight. I got Jake Paul beating the tall shit out of Tank because Tank's not skilled enough to actually beat Jake Paul.
Will it be Jake the problem child versus Tank the destroyer? Or will the size mismatch prove too much? One thing's for certain, love it or hate it, this fight is going to be massive. And this is the clearest confirmation yet that two of boxing's most talked about names are headed for a must-see collision in late 2025. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.